Hold up! We need to talk about what really happened to Liam Payne, and trust me, this isn't your typical celebrity gossip. This is dark, like seriously dark.
You have to watch this.
I thought P. Diddy. So I went out to shake his hand, and I shook his hand, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you. He's going, with the longest jacket. I sat there looking at me in his eyes like, when is this going to end?
And everything coming out right now. Diddy, what happened with Liam Payne, everything is connected.
I don't think we're talking about Simon Cowell enough. Not to mention the pictures, the partying with Diddy. He's also gone to Epstein Island. Listen, that just as shady boots as Clive Davis and P. Diddy.
Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you about Liam's downfall will literally make your jaw drop. We're not just talking about fame gone wrong. We're talking about a twisted web of manipulation where Diddy and Simon Cowell were pulling all the strings. These two powerful figures didn't just control Liam's career, they literally shattered his entire life in ways that'll make your skin crawl. And honey, let me tell you about Liam's final night out. It was wild, and I mean wild. Picture this, Club Noir, our boy Liam stumbling around like he's on another planet, eyes glazed over, with two mystery women hanging all over him. Like, who were these women? Nobody knows. Inside the club? Oh my God. Liam was downing drinks like they were water, mixing cocktails that would make Keith Richards himself be like, whoa, slow down. And get this, a clubgoer swears they saw him popping pills right at the bar, like not even trying to hide it. But wait, it gets even crazier. Liam kept requesting strip that down over and over, trying to climb onto the DJ booth. Security had to drag him down twice. Can you even? When they tried to hit up another club, things got even messier. Their Uber driver spilled all the tea, said Liam was sobbing in the back seat, mumbling about Simon and contracts. And speaking of Simon, word on the street is that Simon had a little chat with Liam just days before this meltdown. Sources say Simon was about to cut him loose from his record label. His name wasn't even on UMG's roster anymore. And the timing? Way too suspicious to be just a coincidence. His PR team had already bounced weeks before, right after Maya Henry hit him with that lawsuit. Poor Liam was literally falling apart at the seams. Now, let me spill some scalding hot tea about the Diddy connection, because it gets so much juicier. Universal Music Group's CEO Lucian Grange, not as squeaky clean as he pretends to be. His name popped up in a lawsuit involving Diddy, and fans are convinced he's been helping cover up Diddy's shady behavior for years. Lil Rod's lawsuit even mentioned Grange sponsoring those wild Diddy parties where some seriously messed up stuff went down. Back to that fateful night at the hotel. Buckle up, because this is where things get crazy. Liam and his crew rolled up looking like they'd been through World War III. The concierge said Liam could barely stand, with one of those mystery women practically carrying him to the elevator. Hotel staff were exchanging looks like, something is so not right here. By 2 a.m., guests were complaining about absolute chaos coming from Liam's room. We're talking screaming, crashing, furniture being thrown around. Security did a welfare check at 2:30, but Liam wouldn't open up, just shouted that he was fine and needed to be left alone. At 3 a.m., the noise was so bad, the hotel manager lost it and called 911. Listen to this. They literally told the dispatcher, "We need to send someone with urgency because I don't know if the guest's life is in danger because he is in a room with balcony, and we are afraid he could do something that threatens life." Like, how scary is that? When the cops finally got in, oh my God! It looked like a tornado had hit. Broken furniture everywhere, smashed mirrors, clothes thrown all over. But here's the tea that'll make your blood run cold. They found whiskey, a lighter, and pills including Klonopin. But that's not even the worst part. Remember that suspicious hotel employee? Turns out they might have been Liam's dealer. The police interviewed them about possibly giving Liam drugs on the day he died. And tucked away in a corner, a baggie of mysterious pink powder that's got everyone in Hollywood talking. This isn't your regular party favor, dolls. We're talking about a deadly mix of methamphetamine and MDA. It's been making rounds in high-profile celeb circles, especially in the music industry. Think about it. Your heart's racing, your mind's going crazy, you're seeing things that aren't there. It's absolutely terrifying. Now let's talk about how Liam got mixed up in all this. Remember when he met Diddy? He said it was the most uncomfortable experience of his life, and now we know why.
So I went out to shake his hand, and I shook his hand, and I was, oh, nice to meet you, and he's going, but the longest handshake ever. And I'm like sat there just looking in P. Diddy's eyes like, when is this gonna end?
OMG, can you believe that? Liam literally couldn't escape Diddy's grip. He was totally freaked out, saying he felt a little bit fearful of that man. And it wasn't just a one-time thing. Remember that interview with the One Direction boys?
Heard your interview earlier. You met P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Is that the coolest moment? Is that the coolest moment?
Well, these two went to a gangster party. Yeah, full of watches and
I just went for a quiet dinner, so I didn't meet P. Diddy so much.
Okay.
Did you catch that super awkward laugh from Louis and Niall? Like, why were they acting so weird about it? And honey, Liam's experience with Jay-Z was even more bizarre.
The worst of it happened. There was a whole thing with Jay-Z, and I went to lean in to speak to him. But you can't lean in to speak to Jay-Z. You're not allowed to lean in. And his bodyguard just like shoved me like this, and I went flying across the room. And I was like, right, I'm just going to go and sit over here with Eddie Golden. That's me, thank you, that's enough. Very awkward moment.
But let's talk about the real puppet master here, Simon Cowell. This man took 5 innocent boys and turned them into global superstars. But at what cost?
Simon Cowell, Sean Diddy Combs, Ryan Seacrest, The Wanted, Glad You Came. And this is on, by the way, Simon Cowell is rumored to be a notorious harem holder. Kind of like Diddy. The music competition judge/record exec, and that Simon Cowell is worried that he is next to face the Mr. Freak-Off treatment. Okay, so let's rate Simon Cowell's harem next. Not only because of the things he may have done, but because of what he didn't do to protect contestants from the closeted radio exec, and that's Ryan Seacrest, who preyed on them. This same radio exec was behind the formation of the boy band The Wanted, who was Glad You Came, and that's a really gross time right there in the blind.
Y'all, former X Factor contestants are finally speaking up, and what they're saying is shocking. Katie Waisel straight up called Simon out for treating talent like commodities. After Liam was found dead, she posted the most heartbreaking message. My heart is completely torn to shreds right now. I am at an absolute loss for words. If Simon Cowell dare put a statement out on the heart-wrenching tragic loss of my dear and darling friend Liam, he would be a fool. We all know the truth, and I'll be sure it all comes out. Justice for Liam. And she's not alone. Rebecca Ferguson is throwing major shade too, talking about exploitation and how they're just profiting off young stars. It's like they were running a factory churning out pop stars without caring about the human cost. Speaking of Simon's shadiness, why did he suddenly postpone auditions for his talent shows after Liam passed? Is he feeling guilty? Or is he trying to avoid the spotlight while this mess unfolds? Either way, it's sus AF. But while Simon was pushing Liam professionally, Hollywood's elite were waiting with open arms and open cabinets, if you know what I mean. We're talking about those super exclusive parties where they take your phone at the door, and what happens inside stays inside. Let's spill some more tea about Diddy's involvement. His parties were legendary in Hollywood, but not for good reasons. And Simon? Don't even get me started. He's been spotted at these wild parties with Diddy. And rumor has it he's even taken trips to Epstein's Island. Like, excuse me? Poor Liam was literally crying out for help. In this heartbreaking interview from 2021,
was the pivotal
I
moment.
had a few of them. I was worried how far my rock bottom was going to be. Where's rock bottom for me? And you would never have seen it. I'm very good at hiding it. No one would have ever have seen it. But rock bottom, I mean, I don't even know if I hit it yet. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like one of those little graphs you see when it's like, oh, we hit the
It gets even sadder. Liam developed agoraphobia because of fame. He literally said, I would never leave the house, and I do sometimes suffer with it a bit in the sense that I'll get days where I just don't want to leave my house, even if it's just going to the shop. And his song Teardrops? It wasn't just another pop song, it was a cry for help.
Okay, you gotta remember, when he started One Direction, he was only 16 years old. He was a kid, right? And I'm bringing this up for a very specific reason. I went to his Instagram and I saw this. His latest drop was called Teardrops. And I see these symbols on here and I was like, it looks familiar. Now you tell me if that symbol right there, this little swirl one, looks like that symbol right there, the little swirl. So if you don't know what this document is from 2007 from the FBI when they released all these PDF file logos. Now, besides the swirl, I see there's hearts as well. Just like this heart and that one down below as well.
Even Liam's ex-fiancée, Maya Henry, revealed something absolutely heartbreaking.
I always felt like it was a manipulation tactic to keep me, I don't know, it's kind of complicated, but I always felt like it was so that I could continue to feel bad for him. And because he would always message me ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. And he would always play with and be like, well, I'm not doing well. And there was one time I tried to get him help, and then he was like, not taking it. He would text my mom, I'm not doing well, have Maya contact me. So I would just...
But what if it wasn't manipulation? What if our boy was actually crying out for help? Remember.
So, I just think that there needs to be a self-care, a care system within these shows. Because if they're gonna move people through these shows and use them to make television, they can't just like let them off afterwards. And I could never watch X Factor because I was always heartbroken because I'd been the guy who made it really far and then got let go, and it ruined me when I was 4.
He was so proud of being sober for 100 days in 2023, celebrating 6 months of sobriety. But that celebration was tragically cut short. Now, let me tell you about what happened that terrible night in Buenos Aires. According to the police report, Liam was found unconscious outside the Casa Sur Hotel in Palermo. They're saying he fell from his 10th floor balcony around 3 a.m. The hotel staff called emergency services, but it was too late. The autopsy report is absolutely devastating. Multiple traumas, internal and external bleeding, 25 separate injuries. And honey, that's not just from a simple fall. This witness, Rebecca, who was staying at the hotel, she saw everything. She told the Daily Mail that Liam was acting super strange in the lobby, like literally begging to be recognized. He's standing by the elevator saying, yeah, I'm Liam, and inviting strangers to ride with him, talking about how he loves QVC.
Get nothing burger, but the laptop. Why did he smash it? What was on there? Did he see something or get said something that he didn't like? Or is just a nothing burger? But alright.
In the elevator, he starts ranting about Americans being crazy and dangerous, then starts fake choking the woman he's with. Like, what? 10 minutes later, he's back in the lobby with a laptop on accessibility mode, reading his emails out loud. Then he completely loses it, throwing the laptop on the ground. When Rebecca asked if he was okay, his response will break your heart. I used to be in a boy band. That's why I'm so effed up. His British friend tried to play it off, saying Liam just gets too high sometimes, but girl, this was different. Then Liam falls flat on his face in the lobby. The hotel staff tried to help him up, and Rebecca even took a photo. Not long after, police showed up, and that's when everything went horribly wrong. The truth about his death is darker than anyone could have imagined. We're talking about lies, secrets, and shady deals going straight to the top of the music industry. From Diddy's creepy behavior to Simon's puppet master moves, poor Liam never stood a chance.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, king of the if you ask me, baby. Shit. Jermaine Dupri, small as a child. That's why you never see the product suffer, because I am the product. That's why he never is nowhere re-upping, because he is re-upped.
I owe you a dinner, man. I owe you a dinner. I obviously can't afford to get anything else.
Like I told Puppy, I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good.
And just when you thought Diddy couldn't get any shadier, Cat Williams comes out with even more tea. According to Cat, Diddy's been grooming young artists for years, and some have allegedly ended up dead. And honey, when Cat Williams spills tea, you better believe it's scorching hot.
We were in the studio. He said, yo, I'ma drug their ass off and pick them out and pip them out to my nigga.
Let me tell you something about Cat. This man knows everything about everybody in Hollywood. He's been sitting on this tea about Diddy, waiting for the perfect moment to spill it all. And girl, does he have stories to tell? Cat's always been the one to expose Hollywood's dark side. He was one of the first to come out and say that our faves are involved in some seriously sketchy stuff. He's even talked about the Illuminati.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Makes total sense when you think about it. Some of the most powerful people in Hollywood are part of it, and Cat's gotten so much hate for exposing them.
Your mouth is really, really big, and you try to tell the truth for a living, and you like to air people out. Hatred is coming your way. I didn't know it was going to be this type of hatred, but you know, I'm concrete in all things.
Remember what I said about Cat never being afraid to spill the truth? Well, on Mike Tyson's show Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, he hinted that he's gathering receipts on the Illuminati. And honey, this isn't just conspiracy theory stuff. Cat's career has literally been held back because he keeps exposing these shady celebs. According to Cat, Diddy hasn't just been grooming young artists, he's allegedly been silencing them permanently to keep them quiet. The wild part? Cat's been trying to warn us about Diddy for years. We all knew Diddy was weird, but Cassie's lawsuit showed us just how dark things really were. She exposed a whole new side of him, the grooming, the alleged assault, even claiming he pimped her out to male escorts while he watched. And now people are looking back at what Cat said about Diddy being a predator. Years ago, Cat hinted that Diddy and Jermaine Dupri did horrible things to the Criss Cross boys. For those who don't remember, Chris Kelly and Chris Smith were just 12 and 13 when they became stars in the early 90s. According to Cat, both Jermaine and Diddy allegedly assaulted them repeatedly.
Like his age.
And then one of the members passes.
No,
not right after, but years later.
Yeah, years later.
He passes at a relatively young age. Was it 30-something?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you see that coming at all? Were you guys still in contact?
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't see that coming. We was in contact.
The boys were out of contact with Jermaine for years because they didn't want anything to do with him. But after Chris Kelly passed away, Jermaine had the nerve to act like they were besties. People noticed how sad and withdrawn Chris Kelly looked after working with Jermaine and Diddy. We thought it was just the pressure of fame, but now we know better.
I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm gonna drug their ass off and pick them out and pimp them out to my nigga. He said, I'm gonna drug them out. I'm gonna get them all on drugs, and I'm gonna pimp their ass out to my nigga. I was like, there's somebody kids. And walked out.
The way Jermaine met the boys is super creepy. He literally walked up to two kids playing video games in a mall and offered to make them stars. In Chris Kelly's words, we were just playing video games in this mall in Atlanta when all of a sudden this dude comes up to us and said that he'd like for us to work with him as rap musicians. Chris Smith added, we had no idea who he was. In fact, I told MC Daddy that I thought that guy was probably a child. Like, who does that? According to Cat, both Diddy and Jermaine were involved in this mess. In 2011, Cat did this freestyle where he called them both out.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah? Jermaine Dupri, king of the files if you ask me, baby. Shit. Jermaine Dupri, small as a child.
But it gets even worse. Sources say Jermaine wasn't just allegedly pimping the boys out to Diddy, he allegedly sent Chris Kelly to Jada Smith in 1993. Chris was only 13 or 14, while Jada was 22. Looks like her thing for younger guys didn't start with August Alsina. Cat believes Diddy and Jermaine are indirectly responsible for Chris Kelly's death. The trauma from what they allegedly did drove him to drugs as an escape. He might still be here if it wasn't for them. And Chris Kelly wasn't Diddy's last alleged victim. There have been so many reports of Diddy's shady behavior with young artists over the years. This is so much to process. But what do you think? Is Kat telling the truth about Diddy? Are you shocked by any of this, or did you see it coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments and check out this next video.